We're going live to Venezuela as the people are voting this Sunday in these important regional and legislative elections. And to have more updates on how the voting day is moving forward, let's go live with our correspondent Bruno Falsi for all the details coming from Guayana Esequiba, the 21st state of the Bolivarian Republic. Hello Bruno, welcome.
Sí, ¿me escuchan? Hello, my name is Bruno Falsi, correspondent of teleSUR here in Venezuela. And we find ourselves now in Guayana Esequiba, where there is an historical event happening. The election of the 24 governors of Venezuela. The new state is being born. This happened because of a popular voting that happened in 2023 when the people choose, 95% of the people choose to create this new state. And today, this historical event is happening where people are voting in peace and complete tranquility. And you can see here the list of the people who's going to vote. This is the table number 2. This is one of the 3 schools here in the city of El Dorado, where people is voting. As you can see now in this moment, there is many people working here in the table where they're gonna show their papers, their identity, and then they're gonna vote in this machine. It's an electronic vote, very fast, very modern, and very secret. The vote is secret in Venezuela, no one knows. And after that, they put the vote in the box to confirm 2 times their votation, very secure vote, and ending in this list, they sign their name and they receive the paper to confirm their participation in this electoral process. And today, 20,000 people is gonna vote in Guayana Esequiba. It's a new state, as I said, that is being born, an historical fight of this country, of Venezuela, to maintain their integrity in this territory. Being first colonized by the Spanish Empire and then stolen the Esequiba after the fight of Bolivar. Bolivar fight the troops of Bolivar fight here to liberate this territory for the Spanish Empire. And after the liberation, the English Empire invaded this territory and annexed this territory, another colonial power. And Venezuela since then has been fighting to liberate this territory and reunite again the sovereignty of the country.
Sorry Bruno to call you short, but we are going live as the Diosdado Cabello, the Minister of Interior, Security and Peace, is exercising his right to vote. Let's go live to Venezuela with the voting process. As we were saying, the Minister of Interior, Security and Peace, Diosdado Cabello, is currently at a school in a voting center. He came here to exercise his democratic right to vote in these legislative and regional elections that are being held all across Venezuela this Sunday, May 25th. We are seeing the official arriving with his family here at this voting center at this school in the capital to exercise his democratic right to vote, as have been all Venezuelans, as the authorities have called all Venezuelans to go out today in peace and in tranquility, as the nation has been for over the week, and even today everything is developing normally, ordinarily, and in peace and tranquility as Venezuelans go out and vote. In this case, we are seeing live images as the Minister of Interior, Justice and Peace, Diosdado Cabello, is here exercising his right to vote, who is also the Vice President of the United Socialist Party of Venezuela. We're seeing Diosdado reaching the first stage of the voting process, which is very quick, and people that have been in the polling stations have also been able to talk to them. They have also said that it's a very quick process and it's very orderly. We saw the first stage was when Diosdado presents his ID, his identification card, and to confirm his identity. From there he moves to the second stage, that is the one we are seeing on the top right corner. That's the place where he exercises his right to vote, and then the machine, after he votes electronically there, the machine prints the paper that you saw Diosdado showing up. And from there, there he will be able to see that the paper that he gets it has the correct vote that he exercised in the machine. And from there he goes to the third stage of this horseshoe system, herradura is its name in Spanish, and puts his vote in the ballot box. So there you have we could say a two-way confirmation, because you have the electronic one and then you have the physical one, which is put on the ballot box, and from there the official and all Venezuelans are coming out to vote this Sunday in these legislative and regional elections. The official goes and signs his name in the voter's book, which is a way also to corroborate that a vote represents a person that voted right here at the end. And like this, the official exercised his right to vote. He decided for the people that he chose to elect in different elections that are being held, the officials for which he was voting. We continue to see the rest of the people voting alongside, following the same process. But you saw it's very quick, a minute and a half at most, is the whole process of voting. And like this, his whole family, which came here to this police station, is completing their democratic right, as well as all Venezuelans. We're seeing the different images on our screen. Venezuelans continue to vote. We see the long lines on the lower left, as people are coming out en masse to participate in this electoral day, a day that has been guaranteed. Its security has been guaranteed. Its peacefulness has been guaranteed by all the officials, despite all the attempts that were denounced by Diosdado himself before coming to this day. So the voting process continues in a perfectly harmonious manner. Everything is developing as it should be, in peace and tranquility, as Venezuelans continue to exercise their democratic right. Let's remember what Venezuelans are voting for today. Venezuelans are voting for a total of 569 positions, because we must remember they are holding legislative and regional elections, which is the first time in the history of the country that both elections are held on the same day. And also, what makes it even more important is that in this occasion, also the Guayana Esequiba is also the first time that is also taking part in these regional and legislative elections. As we were listening to our correspondent just minutes before we went to the live voting of Diosdado Cabello here in one of the schools in the capital that was prepared as a voting center with polling stations inside to exercise the right. We're seeing them there on the upper right corner, the family taking a picture after they all exercise their right to vote, which the only conditions that the Venezuelan has to have is to have their ID. These are the only requisites that Venezuelans must present to exercise their right to vote, just their ID. We saw the process through Diosdado, presents the ID, exercises his vote, puts the votes on the ballot box, and then signs the voter's book, and the process, a minute and a half, completely done. Now we're seeing the Vice President of the United Socialist Party of Venezuela greeting the authorities, thanking them for their work, for their hard labor, as also have been said by different authorities. They are thankful for all the officials that are involved in this electoral party that is being held this Sunday in Venezuela. So as we were saying, the Venezuelan people are voting for 285 national deputies. These are the deputies representing all the regions of the Bolivarian Republic at the National Assembly. They are also voting for the 260 legislators, local regional legislators, and for the 24 governors, one for each of the comprise the Bolivarian Republic. And these 24 governors, because as we were saying on this Sunday, the Venezuelan people are also electing the governor and representative to the National Assembly and regional legislators of the Guayana Esequiba state, the 24th state of the Bolivarian Republic, following, as the authorities followed the mandate that was expressed by the people on the December 2023 referendum, and which followed with the creation of the organic law for the defense of the Esequibo region. As we must recall that Venezuela continues and will always defend the historical truth that Guayana, the region of Esequibo, belongs to Venezuela, as is very common in the slogan that the sun rises on the Esequibo. A historical truth that has been defended in all sectors, and the Bolivarian government, the government of Venezuela, only recognizes the 1966 Yenea Agreement as the instrument to peacefully and for the solution of this territorial dispute with the Cooperative Republic of Guyana. We are seeing Diosdado Cabello coming out of the polling station, talking with the people that are here, talking with citizens that are here also standing in line to exercise their right to vote. We must remember that this is also part of the mandates that given by the Bolivarian authorities, that the officials of Venezuela must be part of the people, must be on the streets with the people, and must be close to the people. And this is something that we have seen during the campaign and during the last years, of the closeness of the authorities with the people. This is the latest news coming from these important regional legislative elections in Venezuela. We saw the vote of Diosdado Cabello, the Vice President of the United Socialist Party of Venezuela. And we were previously talking with our correspondent Bruno Falsi, which will be in contact in upcoming news brief to have more updates. He was from Guayana Esequiba, and we were listening to how things were developing over there and how people are going to vote, exercising their democratic right for the first time over there in the 24th state of Venezuela, of Guayana Esequiba. Now we'll continue with live images in the capital of Venezuela, as Diosdado continues to greet all citizens that are there at this voting center, where Diosdado came and exercised his right to vote with his family. And we saw how quick and effective the system is, a system that has been praised by the authorities, by international observers that are present here today in Venezuela. We have seen, they have all spoken out of how efficient and transparent the process is and how secure it is, as well as this has been said by the authorities, that Venezuela's voting system is probably, if not, the most secure and most transparent voting system in the world, a system that is always put to the test, because we must remember that a couple of weeks back there was also an electoral drill which produced very, very successful results, very important results, which was kind of like an advance of what we will see today. We're seeing there on our screen how the large crowd that has gathered here to exercise their right to vote, following the call of their authorities, of the Venezuelan authorities, to people to come out and vote, saying that no one would take away the right of the Venezuelan people to exercise their right to vote. I think that Diosdado Cabello is preparing to offer statements. Let's listen to what the Vice President of the United Socialist Party of Venezuela is saying after exercising his right to vote. Let's listen.
Despite of the rain, people are voting peacefully. Despite the rain, there is calm. Everyone has the right patience. We have been through some polling stations, so after all, regardless of the rain, there is peace, tranquility. There is absolute peace, tranquility. Venezuelans have enough patience. We have toured several voting stations. There are a lot of people voting, so the voting should end in the evening, when the National Election Council gives out numbers, including the Guayana Esequiba. This is a big achievement for our country. Every year, every time there is an election, people go out. There are awful contrary campaigns. A little while we saw some images of a region where people have to go on a boat. And same happens in other locations, like Táchira. But there will be nothing interfering with this election. There's no way to stop it. Look at how many people around there is around here in this voting station, just one voting station. And even though it's raining, there's people outside waiting in line. They came to express their will, as the Constitution provides the opportunity. There are no shortcuts in this country. It's been 32 times that we have hosted elections and peaceful elections. So this is the 32nd election in 26 years, and many more will come. We have had also public consultations that we do from time to time for budgets of communities. This is an expression of true democracy, not the old representative democracy. This is a democracy of the people, people going directly to vote, to express their opinion. This is a people with a will to exert their power. We've always had good, massive turnout. People vote and people decide for themselves. It's a simple process. Those who say that there are no people at voting stations, well, they should take another look. People are voting and now they are not being pressured to vote. No one is forced to vote. People do it out of their own willingness. And how is the procedure? It's a very fast procedure. Every time we make it easier. The minute they take your fingerprint, everything follows through. Everything that follows through goes very quickly. You said 70 people had been detained. Among them, some of them foreigners. Do you know anything about that? Well, we wish we hadn't had any mercenaries come in. But not even that has stopped this process. Because we have a military-popular fusion. The people knows what's going on. People know when someone is in a hotel and they are staying for 3 days and they do not know even any word in Spanish. So we are guaranteeing peaceful in the country. Peace in the country. The country is peaceful from one end to the other. There's not even one area where there is trouble. The only thing we're having is a little bit of rain. So people are turning out in a civic demonstration. Yes, this is not just, this is not a forced voting. This is, people go to vote convinced that they want to nominate certain candidates. When you're voting against terrorism and fascism in favor of peace, sovereignty, and tranquility. It's a very conscious vote. You have mentioned some of the things regarding the government in the Esequiba region. There's no problem. We've only had rain in several states, but people know how to overcome all those difficulties, you know, the rain. But we are choosing governors in an area where there is no governor, the Esequiba region. It will be the first governor, and this 25th day of May 2025, that's a historic date. We heard that the Guyana authorities forbid Venezuelan residents to go to vote, or they will be deported. So who is paying salaries in Guyana? ExxonMobil. They are employees of ExxonMobil. The company could expel people from their company, but we heard that one person had been detained in Guyana because that person had expressed the fact that that territory belongs to Venezuela. We have nothing against the people of Guyana, but that is the Esequiba part is a part of Venezuela, and it belongs to Venezuela. There's no doubt about it. And today we're choosing a governor for that region. The process, the electoral process is rolling in perfect tranquility and peace. Some people were astonished of how wonderful Venezuela is because we have so many mango trees, for instance, and in certain areas one mango is $6. There's no doubt that Venezuela today is given a true demonstration of what democracy is. You said that some terrorist plots were being forced from Colombia. The government of Colombia, strategies planned by Uribe, and now they also have support from Ecuador. But the most important thing about that, they have not been able to succeed here in Venezuela with all their plots. We are having a peaceful election, and whomever hasn't voted yet, please do.
We're listening to the statements of the Vice President of the United Socialist Party of Venezuela, Diosdado Cabello, after exercising his right to vote, who was expressing how everything is developing in these important legislative and regional elections being held this Sunday all over the Venezuelan territory, including for the first time the Guayana Esequiba region, which is since the referendum in 2023, the December referendum, the 24th state of the country. Diosdado was reporting that everything is developing as normal, that there is peace from every corner in the country. There's peace, there's tranquility, people are coming out to vote. That the only thing that is making it a little bit difficult, but even so, he praised the will of the people because they are still under the rain out and going to vote, which is the only thing that is happening that was not planned for, the rain. But everything is developing as normal, and express the willingness and praise the willingness of the Venezuelan people who are coming to vote, and pledge the authorities will also to continue maintaining the peace and security of the region and to continue to guarantee the democratic right of the Venezuelan people to have their electoral party and to be able to decide their future and the authorities for which they are voting for this Sunday. Stay tuned with teleSUR English. We're going to have more updates as this day unfolds on everything that is happening in these paramount legislative and regional elections being held in Venezuela.